Oh,
Oh, okay. I was
perfect.
about
Yeah.
to just say we might not follow the script, just so
That's
you
okay.
know.
So, Danny, I'd like to welcome you to the Giant Leap, the podcast where we explore stories of personal transformation, breakthrough, success, and living life on your terms. I'm Josh, and this is Casey, my co-host.
Hello.
Hello,
Today we're
hello.
diving. Hello. So today we're diving into the world of high ticket sales, a skill that can unlock not just financial rewards, but a lifestyle overhaul. We're speaking to Danny, as Josh already said, and he is currently in the midst of this transformative journey.
Hey guys, wow, what an introduction. Thank you very much,
Tell
guys.
us a little bit about yourself, Danny.
Excited to be here. Yeah, so I guess about myself. I'm 12 years construction, and so I've got a lot of a construction background, working tirelessly, long hours weekly, and not getting anywhere. I just having no freedom, making a lot of money, but having no freedom. I always wanted a bit of a change in the direction that I was going. That all took a massive hit for me when I had my son. He was born, working construction, not having that time spent with him at nighttime, and then missing the early morning hours as well with him as well because I was at work.
So many of our listeners are juggling work and family and personal goals, like you've just explained. So, how did those elements of your life contribute to those decision making, exploring high ticket sales? Why was high ticket sales the new path? What happened?
For me, so I seeked mentorship. I was with a mentor, who you guys know as well. After exploring different ways of making money online, I always knew I wanted to make money online, but I just didn't know how. I had a bit of a knack for selling. And so I looked at different opportunities selling online. And then someone recommended me high ticket sales. I was like, what's high ticket sales? And it's a case of obviously selling someone's product or service online when they don't have the capacity to. So I was very intrigued. I wanted to learn more.
Maybe explain a little bit more about what it is.
Yeah, okay. So high ticket sales. So exactly what like I said, it's selling coaches or mentors product or service when they get to that stage where they can no longer sell themselves. They have too much calls coming in, so they have to hire a high ticket closer or remote high ticket closer where they can jump on calls, take them through a process, and sell them the program or course, mentorship, or whatever that may be, or even a marketing service. So it's a whole different range of products or services online that can be sold, and where that gap in the market is.
You're partway through doing the course. Can you talk us through some of the skills that you have learned so far?
Yeah, of course. So the biggest one was obviously communication, learning how to convey your message online to people, walk them through a process, actively listen to them and hear what they're actually saying, what they need, and being able to coach them through that process because a lot of people don't actually know what it is that's blocking them, especially on these calls. It might be a case of a limiting belief that they've got embedded in them and they might have not known that. So it's our job as coaches to coach them through that process.
Cool.
So
Sounds like a
definitely,
great life skill, like regardless, and then you can make money on top of that. So it's like you learn how to actually talk to people and make money.
And listen as well, I think.
Yeah,
exactly.
listening.
I find I've just started the course, but I find I've had to listen more, which is something that I don't do very well. So that was good for me. With the high ticket closing, how far are you into the course? Explain your journey. You found the course, you started the course. How far did you do the whole of the No Limits Academy? Are you like we've said that you're partway through, but whereabouts are you? Because you have got a job as a closer as well, but
Yeah.
it's outside of the course. So tell us a little bit about that and
Yeah.
how that
Okay.
happened.
Okay. To rewind it back a bit. So when I met Fraser, like he was straight up with me. He says, look, I've got offers, but I can't guarantee anything. So he's completely transparent with me, which I appreciated. So coming into the course, going through the content, I will be honest, I haven't gone through all the content yet, but there's so much there and I still go back to certain videos as well just to rewatch it. But I've been a part of the academy for almost a year now. Yeah, almost over a year. and just, I guess, talking to Fraser and being able to have contact with him and just learning those skills to then obviously put towards the job that I got now. Because, like I said, I could have just come into the academy and just waited for it to be put on a team. And even some of the other coaches on the academy were saying, look, there's other offers out there that you can, and they showed me how to apply for these different offers and connect with these other people. So I used the skill of obviously networking with other people to find a high ticket job outside of the academy, which was the first person to do that. So I was pretty pumped and pretty excited to land my first high ticket role.
Yeah, was it hard getting the role outside of the academy? Because that's something that we haven't covered yet as a new person. So that's really interesting because that should be that will be covered hopefully at some point. But how was that difficult? Was it nerve-wracking? What did you have to do?
It was all saying yes to like opportunities. So every time it actually happened in Sydney with Lloyd. So Lloyd invited me to an event in Sydney and I wasn't planning on going. And I just thought, no, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go. And I said yes. And I went and I spoke with his business partner, Morgan. And he had people in the industry that were looking for remote high ticket closers. I said, look, I just really want to be given a shot. I'll do anything. I'll start as an appointment setter. I'll start as anything just to get my feet wet and jump into the realm of high ticket sales and just be involved in it. And then from there, I found it very easy because you could just network with people on Teams, talk to them. This person needs this person. It's crazy how a lot of people know each other inside the high ticket world and you can just connect with people very easily. Everyone's very open about helping you. So I guess that first initial is just like getting on the bus, essentially, getting involved. And then from there is just everyone's, oh, we need a setter or a closer over here. We need a closer or a setter over there. And then from there it felt very easy.
For those people listening, wondering who Lloyd and Morgan are, Lloyd is our mentor and he runs 5 Steps to Millionaire, and Morgan Tina. Danny, you talked about network and stuff. How's the support from mentors and fellow participants influenced your progress inside the program and motivated you?
I reckon from all the coaches, from Fraser, from all the coaches on teams, even the people that weren't on teams as well to begin with, just like helping you out with doing role plays, always supporting you. There's so many different time zones in there because there's a lot of different people from different places in the world, but just willing to help you and going above and beyond to make this role play work on this time zone. And yeah, I felt like just the support inside and on reaching that goals, even from the high ticket coaches, because they're always busy taking calls, but they still yet made time to do role plays and I guess give me pointers on what to do, what to practice on. So yeah, I feel like the support was huge.
That's awesome. Hey, I noticed that it looks like you're in an airplane, but I've just realized that you're in your motorhome. So we're thinking of using Casey's one skill of high ticket sales and taking it on the road and her income being on the road. How do you feel like other people that want to, live a lifestyle where they're not stuck in one place? You think it's a good idea?
Yes, that's incredible. Just get a stable internet connection and that's all we need. But this is honestly the dream. I think when I made my first sale, when I moved back into the caravan and made that first sale, I was just like, wow, like we're literally not in the middle of nowhere, but we're like rural. So we're traveling around, making money on the road and not having to answer to a boss or anything like that. It's just like a surreal feeling because it's something
amazing.
my wife and I and my son, like we're pushing towards.
How old's your little one?
2.5.
Oh, cool.
So it must be awesome to free up that time to spend time with your partner and your son.
Yeah, that was the biggest part of it, moving online, having more freedom. I get to choose when I take calls and get to choose when I spend time with the family. The biggest part is the freedom, being able to spend time with my family and do whatever I want, whenever I want.
So do you travel around in your caravan or do you live in it stationary?
I live and travel. So we're like 6 weeks here in this one place in Sydney at the moment on the northern beaches, and then moving to Gold Coast or Byron Bay, and then just moving up and down the coast.
We used to live in DY. Where are you?
Oh, DY is near Manly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we lived there for a couple of years. Yeah. I loved it. So what does she do for work?
She does content creation.
Okay,
So
cool.
she does help, and she also is VAing for me as well. So like setting
Yeah.
up appointments within the program, but mainly content creation is her biggest thing she loves doing.
That's awesome. So she can also work remotely then as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. So you get to travel, you get to spend time wherever you want, and then just work when you both choose and get to spend time with your son. Are you going to send him to school? Or are you going to homeschool him eventually?
No, we're gonna homeschool them.
Yeah, cool.
That's what
That's
we-
exactly how we feel as well. But with our daughter, she is going to school at the moment, but she goes to a forest school just so that she can properly learn the basics of reading and writing. So-
Yeah. I think once reading and writing's done, it's just like, okay, everything else is just like a.
yeah, she really wants to learn, and I'm struggling to teach her. So I think she just needs that little bit of okay, and then she can do it herself.
Can you tell us about some of the remarkable transformations you've seen among your peers in the program?
In the program. Yeah, definitely to name a few. Even I caught up with Chin Yu the other day and just
Yeah.
seeing his progress in the group, just because we caught up for dinner actually in Sydney, and just seeing his confidence as well. And it's just made a massive difference. Like he even says his confidence has just improved being in the program. Casey just excelling in the program, going through all the content even before me. I'll try to keep up with Casey and the amount of messages she's doing as well. So that's good. And we have our own little support chat inside the group as well. So I guess seeing everyone succeeding, seeing everyone winning, and just having an accountability for people, for a group is really good.
Yeah, I guess if you see other people doing things more than you, you're like, God damn it, I gotta do it myself. It's a good motivator, isn't it?
Exactly.
It always is for me.
Yeah. Because when Danny had
Yeah.
booked his first call, I was like, I haven't booked a call yet. I think
I've definitely.
I've got a big one, but I was so happy that he'd done it because it just shows that it can be done. And that's part of it as well, being in a group, isn't it? It's like being able to see what can actually happen and what if you put your mind to it and you actually follow the steps and follow it, it can happen. So I think we're all at that place of let's see it happen.
That hungry stage, and then it's just like competition, friendly competition.
Yeah. As a salesperson, I think you have to be a dominant personality. So if you've done your disc have you ever done a disc profile?
Yeah, I got dominant. I got D personality, D type.
I was D, was quite high. I had 4% compliance.
High D with a bit of I.
Yeah, me
No,
too.
I was just all day.
Josh didn't have anything else on the chart, pretty much. But yeah, I think as a do anything in sales, I think you have to have that kind of personality. So we all like a little bit of healthy competition. When you joined the program, were the other coaches there, like John and Mel and Melissa, were they all already part of it? And Leslie?
Yeah, so John, the two Melissas, Leslie, there's another lady, there's a couple other people. There's been a few people that come through and just never stuck with it. They just didn't see it through. They just didn't show up to any more training. A lot of the coaches that have obviously come on, got on teams, and then gone from there. It's been good just to even see their journey and watching role players back when they started.
Yeah.
It's really good to see. Because it just shows you it's like proof of concept type thing. It's okay, this person started from where I was, and then it's just like seeing them progress.
It makes it like real reality. I always think about Simon Beard because he went to my school just a year above me, and we have a clothing business and he had a retail business, and it just makes it like, but he's just a normal dude from school. If he can do it, I could do it. So it's when you see other people do it, you're like, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
That'd be such a. I don't have time warps the right word. It's such a weird thing to see, like someone that you grew up with, and then they're like, "Oh, we used to hang out," and then it's just like a multimillionaire. So
I
crazy.
also went to school with Josh as well, so he was.
I knew that.
He was 2 years above me. He was 2 years above me.
I only found that out not long ago. I didn't realize that.
Some successful people went to that school. When's it?
It's my turn. Baby. Yeah, let's go.
So I've got a little secret that I have to share. I watched your rookie versus pro training video. Have you seen that it's on there?
I don't want to watch it. I would hate to watch it.
So it was I think it was your first, like you hadn't been in the program very
First time off.
long, and you just went for it and did a role play with one of them, with one of the other coaches. I can't remember who it was.
I think it was John.
Yeah.
It was just like, I know you're just talking and you sound robotic. For me, it was my drone and the voice. I sounded like very drony and I hated it. I just had to work on it to change it.
That's such a good way to learn, though, when you see or listen back of something of yourself and you're like, oh man, I got to change that right now.
I don't think I sound as much like that anymore. I think I sound a bit clearer. But then sometimes I just get lost for words. Especially, I've done that a few times. But it's just, you just roll with it.
So have you watched it back? Or did you never watch it back? Were you like, oh my God, I'm never
I'm not
watching it?
sure.
Yeah, no, that's the secret that I watched it. But I absolutely loved it. Like, I loved watching it because I loved the fact you put yourself out there. You completely just were like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And everyone was shocked. Like, the whole call is, oh, you're actually going to do it? And you just were like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And you did brilliant. Obviously, it's your first one. So everything we do is always whatever. But for me, watching it as a new person, I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. You were just so brave to do it. And it gave me a lot of confidence as well to be able to just do the role plays and mess up completely and not worry about it. And you didn't mess up. You did brilliant. But it just gave me that confidence. So that was a really nice thing. And well done for actually doing that, because when people watch that in the training, they're going to feel like, oh my God, I can do this too. So yeah, it's great. So I wanted to share that I'd watched it, and you should watch it back and see how far you've come.
Yeah, definitely. I will go watch it now. I like that because it means a lot to me. It means like someone's seen it and maybe, like you said, it helped you out.
Yeah, it's inspired me to be confident enough to actually go for
make a
it.
mess.
It doesn't matter because you are in a place where you've got a job. You are already doing the job. So by taking leaps of faith, those giant leaps, as our podcast is called, by putting yourself out there, making a mess and going for it, you progress so much that you do end up with the jobs at the end of it. So it's inspirational to do those things.
Welcome, Faithy. I think the main thing is just, you got to just keep pushing forward. Like, just don't take no for an answer. People, like, persistence beats resistance. It's just continuing down that road of just being persistent in anything you're doing, like whether it's high ticket sales or anything else, and just constantly fail forward.
I like that, fail forward.
Yeah.
I really like that. Why did you mention that several people have come through the program and haven't stuck with it? Are there any sort of hurdles or anything that you think, maybe it's hard to say for somebody else's journey, but is there anything that you may be aware of that may have stopped them or got in their way of succeeding?
Like one guy, one person I can think of, won't name names on the podcast. Like, he showed up to everything and he just didn't have any input, didn't want to do role plays, didn't send in any role plays to Fraser. I think he just expected to get a job out of it. At the end of the day, Fraser's got a reputation. He's not going to put you on a team when they're spending money on ads to then be like, who's this guy? Like, he's come through your training and you've given him to me. So I think people, I don't know, that's what I take. That's my perspective. Like, people think it's just, that it should just be given to them. You don't
Yeah.
have to work for it. I think that's so, it seems like such a thing nowadays, and in life, everything's just given. People think stuff should just be given to them without working hard for it. Defeats the purpose of having a hard thing to attain.
Without the blood, sweat, and tears, I don't think you really learn those like crucial lessons along the way, mental lessons especially.
Exactly.
So if you put yourself back in your headspace of when you were working construction and stuff, for the people out there that are working those jobs and not seeing their kids and stuff, was it scary to take the leap, and how did you take the leap to change your whole life and leave the security of that job and go for something that you've never done before?
Yeah, it was very, very daunting. I guess for me, I'd been putting it off for 3 or so years. And then I finally became part of a training. I'm like, okay, I'm going to invest in something that I can actually learn how to do it. And then I'm going to trial it. And then when we sold our house in Perth and moved over to Gold Coast in Queensland, I said to my wife, I said, look, as soon as we get over to Gold Coast, I'm not going back to construction. I'll just try find a sales job. and get into sales and learn sales. Go into a call center, take a massive paycheck cut. We've got money there to support us for a little bit, so we can afford for me to suck and not make much profit.
Yeah.
The beginning was rough. It was a massive pay deduction, but I think I think my son was my biggest driver. I said, I don't want my son to grow up and me saying you can be anything you want to be, and then I've not even went after the thing I wanted.
Yeah.
I don't want to like a cop out because I didn't chase my dreams when I said he can chase his dreams.
That's really powerful. Yeah.
So if you pictured yourself in 3 years' time using your mastered the ability, the one skill of high ticket sales, where do you see that taking you, like life being like in 3 years' time?
3 years time, don't get me excited. So I've got big goals. I created my Instagram page. I want to be making doing 30K months within the next 12 months. But then I was talking to another guy that I was working for, and he said, look, why don't you make it a bigger goal? Make it almost delusional. I'm like, okay. He says, why don't you aim for 50,000 months by the end of the year? So I'm working towards $50,000 months by the end of the year. That's a big goal for me. And after that, I see myself traveling around the world with my wife and son, maybe living in Dubai for a bit, doing all the nice things and the luxuries that come with it, and just enjoying life, giving back to my family. Like the biggest thing, I want to retire my parents. Like before I buy nice things and stuff, that's the big thing for me, is to retire my parents, pay the mortgage off and retire them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really lovely.
Yeah.
Just to see their face. I don't know how I'd do it. If I just be like, what's your mortgage? Bank account detail. And then can you just check that for me?
Just hand them a check.
Yeah. Hand them a check.
Literally hand them a check and say, there's your mortgage paid off.
So,
Or something. You want to do it secretly, don't you? And then,
Yeah.
that'd be amazing. What an amazing achievement. And how are you going to create $50,000 months? How are you going to create that?
So I think it will have to be a team effort for sure. But so right now the packages that I'm selling for this marketing agency that I'm working for, and this other offer, as well as Fraser's, it can be done. There's obviously just an amount of calls that I'll have to make and the amount of close the deals that I'll have to close. So I think it was about 30 deals a month. So
Okay.
it's literally a deal a day. But then if I'm only working, it's more like a deal and a half or maybe 2 deals a day on some certain offers. But yeah,
Oh,
I definitely
yeah.
have to reverse engineer it all. It's okay, I've got to make this many dials, this many people have got to turn up, this many people have got to close, and then yeah.
But if you just eventually target higher ticket sales, like 20 grand.
That's it. I think Warren Buffett said that or something, like get in a bigger boat.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you can be in sales and you can be a gun at sales, but being a small ticket item, selling lots of this small ticket stuff when you could literally sell 4 high ticket items and be average.
That's how I feel every day when I'm at work. I sell things for £20 and I'm like, I'm selling hundreds of things for £20. I could sell one thing and make the same money.
Yeah, if you're selling Tony Robbins courses that are 100,000 and stuff, then you do 10 a year, and you'd be like, well then.
Funny that I went on to, so when I was at the Ty Lopez event in Sydney with Morgan and Lloyd, we went for dinner afterwards and I was speaking to Ty Lopez's sales team and they gave me some details to jump on. I jumped on a group coaching call for onboarding to an interview. It's like a group interview. I didn't end up going through because I was just I don't want to be on a US offer because then it's just the time difference and stuff. I've done a US offer before and it's very hard.
Yeah.
It's the time zones, but that he sells 100K packages and it's just one of those, if someone pays in full, is $10,000. It's insane.
With something like that though, you wouldn't get as many calls through, would you?
Yeah, not really. I don't think so. Because it's you could have someone come through and it's a $5,000 coaching offer and they might be umming and ahhing about paying it or asking about payment plans. And then you could have someone that comes through for a 50,000 coaching offer. And because they're obviously investing in a mentor that's that high a ticket, they probably have the capital hand it there, just be like, there you go, there's a 50,000.
Yeah. But then
Mm.
it's fine because you have less calls and make more money. So it's the same.
I'd rather that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather
Do
make
you
3
find,
calls than
how do you find, because obviously you work on your own time with the calls and you can take the calls when you want, but they are still 45 minutes to an hour long. So
Mm.
how you can only fit so many of those in a day. So does it
Mm.
end up being a 9 to 5 job, or how does that work?
Yeah, definitely. I guess at the start for myself, I was just like, I want to just do as many calls as possible. But then I don't think that's really fair to myself or to the clients because they're not getting the best quality because I might just burn out at the end. Like after 6 calls back to back, I think I did 6 calls back to back and I was just exhausted. And then it's just like, okay, this call might go over. So then you're chasing your tail for the next one and then you got to push them back. And it's just like, you burn yourself out. And I feel like, yeah, it's not really responsible for myself and it's not responsible for me to do it to the client as well. Because at the end of the day, they're there for our services.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to give value to them and yourself, really.
Exactly. And it's just like you just feel exhausted. You feel like if you do 4 or 6 factor calls on looking at a computer screen, you feel like a robot after. But I reckon 4 calls in a day, 4 to 5 calls a day is perfect.
So a lot of people would want evening.
Depends though, because whatever service you're selling, it could be like a B2B or B2C. So you might get people that can call during the day, or they might have their own, it might be their like small business that they're running and still being able to take calls throughout the day.
Yeah.
And then you do have people that they ask you to call after 3:30 or after 4:30. So it just does depend.
So for those people that don't have any time, they're working all the time and stuff, for the people listening that are considering like making the leap, what advice would you offer them, and what should they consider when they're choosing the path, like whether they choose high ticket sales or not?
I always pose the question, okay, if you're wanting to do something so bad, how's it going to feel 12 months from now that you've done nothing, you've changed nothing, you're in the exact same position you were at last year, you're still upset, you're still depressed because you're still working those long hours, you're still not seeing your family, you're still not having time to do the things you want to do, you're not getting ahead in life. Like, why wouldn't you want to try something else? At the end of the day, we're only on this planet for a short period of time. You don't have to play by the rules and play by the means of society tells us to.
Yeah, you could get to 60 having worked in construction the whole time and be on a good income and stuff. And then you retire and you're like, I don't even know my wife or my kids. And then you go fishing and you're like, I don't even like fishing. I've been waiting all this time to go fishing. Now it's time to go.
I hate golf.
Yeah.
All the guys playing golf and they don't see their wives on the weekend because they end up hating them. And there's so many horror stories in construction. I had to get out. It's so toxic. I know it sounds silly, actually. It doesn't sound silly at all. Go after what you want to do. Don't put it off because at the end of the day, just the years come past. There's more things going on. You have kids, your kids get older. It's just, there's so many things that are going to come up in life. It's just, if you keep putting it off, then you find something else to put it off.
And lifestyle wise, it must be a lot nicer, like owning your own time because now you can go to the gym and stuff. Like after a full day of construction, when you like go to the gym and it's the same time as every other construction guy goes to the gym's packed and you're like exhausted already from work and you're like, oh God, I have to do this.
Exactly. You literally go to the gym at 10 a.m. There's no one there. Or I like going 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Still
Yeah,
no
you
one
can
there.
you can do that in Australia. You can't here. The gyms aren't open at that time.
No 24/7 gyms.
There is a
Surely,
couple. There is a
anytime.
couple. Anytime fitness. Have we got an anytime fitness?
But people
No.
wake up a lot later here, especially in the winter. Like they wake up at like 8:30, and it's so weird me moving over here because I was used to like the sun being like up through the window at 5:30 in the morning. Like, all right, I'm up.
Yeah. And it's still dark there, especially in winter time. It gets dark at 4 p.m. Still
Yeah.
dark at 8:30. But then
Yeah.
summertime, like light.
Summer, it's oh my God, I need to go to bed. And it's still light. It's still light.
Right,
It's
yeah.
still daylight.
Remember
And you wake up as a cat and it's a light and it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Please let me go to bed.
crazy.
So before we close this up, give us some parting wisdom that you want to share about what you do and why you do it, and tell everyone why they should join and why they should do it.
So for me, it's like sales. Okay. So it's transferable. You can use it anywhere. You can use it to influence people. There's so many different levels to it as well. There's so many learn NLP, hypnotherapy, and use that in your sales process. So I feel like that can be used to help a lot of people through these specific journeys. And it does depend what offer you're on as well, especially if you're in the personal development realm. Helping these people and seeing a massive change in their life is very fulfilling. Like having a coaching call with someone and then seeing them in 12 months' time and their life is completely turned around, and you remember them on the call and they're hesitant about joining and didn't want to pull the trigger, but then they pull the trigger, and now it's just like 12 months down the track and they've turned their life around, and it's just like a whole new person, and they thank you for it. It's just, I feel like that's super powerful. That's why I'm in high ticket sales, because I wanted to help people, and I feel like you can do it in sales.
Yeah, it's a real big win, isn't it? You win financially and lifestyle wise, and they win because they get that opportunity as well.
Exactly.
But the cool thing that I just thought is, if anybody's listening to this and then they decide to join, they're going to be hanging out with you too.
That's the added bonus. That's the VIP. That's the VIP, not many people.
Keep that one.
We can be their network.
I love it. I love it.
There might be people on here that are actually going, oh my God, this sounds amazing. Hopefully,
Can I join?
Yeah. Hopefully
Yes.
we have inspired some people that are in the same situation, or that want to live and travel, or have got children. Both of us are in similar situations, I think, living wise. Okay, I do live in a house. I don't want to always live in my house.
I like being a traveling gypsy and just go wherever I want to go.
Exactly. That freedom is definitely in me as well, is how we started our whole business. For those people that have got children that want to get out of their 9 to 5, hopefully your journey inspires them, because it definitely inspires me, inspires Josh. For the listeners, if they do want to find out a bit more about what we do and the course, the resources are in the description. Is that right?
They're in the description, but if you're friends with Danny or friends with Casey, you can just send them, just shoot them a message saying, hey, I want to know more, and they can let you know what the next steps are. Does that sound cool?
Sounds fair.
When you hop on the calls with when you join our academy, we'll let you in.
Double bind.
All right, cool. Thanks, Danny. You've been awesome. We've loved having you on and spending time with you. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Thanks very much for having me, guys. I'm really looking forward to watching the replay. Helping
Thank
people's
you. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll probably see you
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.